They scheduled to rerun a race that the Jamaica team already won. And if you wanted to be more technical, you could say that the Bahamas team tried to get unfair advantage in that race. Why? Just picture a scenario where you're in a race where you will need to exert a lot of energy very quickly. How do you regain energy lost? It's unlikely that you will. In a relay, a 4x1 relay, the first leg, the Bahamian runner stayed in the block while everybody else ran out of their blocks without issues. The Bahamas runner stayed in the block while everybody else got out to at least 80 meters before the officials realized that, oh, the Bahamas runner is still in the block, let's recall this race. You would have lost 80% of your energy while the Bahamas runner lost 0. Welcome again to the narrative where it's okay to be curious. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell for future video uploads, and drop a comment. Carifta 50 recently concluded. Jamaica continued dominance at 58 Carifta Games despite organizational bundling. Jamaica topped the medal table for the 45th time out of 50, despite being well off their record 96 medals accomplished in Kingston, Jamaica last year. Jamaica totaled 78 medals, getting 40 golds, 22 silver and 16 bronze. They were way ahead of their closest rival, which was the Bahamas, who got 46 medals, 10 golds, 13 silver, 23 bronze. Trinidad and Tobago, they pick up the third spot, finishing in third place with 31 medals, 9 golds, 10 silver and 12 bronze. St. Kitts and Nevis, they got the fourth place. They got 11 medals, which comprise of 5 golds, 2 silver and 4 bronze. Would you say it was a very competitive event? It was a good event, entertaining event, not very competitive, only because Jamaica had been dominating for such a long time. They had 96 medals, 4 short of 100 medals in 2022, and in 2023 they had 78 medals, and this would have suggested that the rest of the Caribbean has closed the gap a little bit. But the medal tally also paint an invisible picture. Why? There are a lot of controversies that surrounded the event, and a lot of it affected Jamaica more than how it affected anywhere else. If Jamaica was not a runaway victor in this Carifta 50 event, then there might have been a lot more controversies, a lot more complaints, a lot more negative spotlight shone on the event. Jamaica had some really standout events that was surrounded by controversy. They had some standout events that were just negative for the athlete, nothing that had to do with the organizers or fans or anything. Just, whenever an athlete gets a major injury, it's negative and it affects them. Jamaica had one such injury from where we saw Boaje and Kume, the boys captain, who had a hamstring injury. That's a negative situation. It affected the medal tally. So seeing the Jamaican team dropping from 96 to 17-8 in 1 year, it suggests that the Caribbean closed the gap. But there are other situations that affected that tally as well. We saw a series of false start that were not necessarily justified. We saw where Jamaica competed in events, and then afterwards there were reviews done and they lost medals. And honestly, it seems like it affected Jamaica more than it affected anybody else, because they are the ones who had their medals taken away. Now, we saw some organizational blunder, lots of organizational blunder for a world-class facility which hosted a world-class event. And is looking to host many more world-class events to come. They have an organizational problem, and if we did not know better, we would say that this was directed at the Jamaica team. I would want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that the human factor allows for errors. This affected the Jamaica team various ways. In the 100-meter under 20, Jamaica had the two fastest men under 20 athletes in the Caribbean in the 100-meter, and neither of them got to participate in the finals. Right there, they would have lost 2 more medals. Nothing to do with organization, because injuries are injury, and while Daly had a false start that was never that the organizers weren't able to provide confirmation of the false start, it still is obvious that those 2 athletes, being the fastest in the Caribbean, would have definitely medal for the Jamaica team. Now, 2 other medals, 2 medals got taken away from the Jamaica team, and 2 of them disqualification. 2 of the under 17 4x1 relays, they had their medals taken away because they got disqualified for infractions. They made technical errors while running their races, and they lost their medals. Rightfully so. You lost your medal because you made technical errors. No, in the 110 hurdles, Jamaica had the 1st and 3rd spot. Therefore, they got the gold and the bronze medal, only to get a complaint from the Bahamas team that Jamaica had a false start. Somehow they were just trying to find a false start. They were trying to get it seems like they were trying to get the medals off the Jamaican tally. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you querying event if you feel like if you feel like something was wrong with the event. I don't see any problem querying the event. However, most of these queries, they are after the fact. They are without reason, and the blunder is so obvious. Jamaica lost 3 medals that they already won. They scheduled to rerun a race that the Jamaica team already won, and if you wanted to be more technical, you could say that the Bahamas team tried to get unfair advantage in that race. Why? In a relay, just picture a scenario where you're in a race where you will need to exert a lot of energy very quickly. How do you regain energy lost? It's unlikely that you will. In a relay, a 4x1 relay, the first leg, the Bahamian runner stayed in the block while everybody else ran out of their blocks without issues. The Bahamas runner stayed in the block while everybody else got out to at least 80 meters before the officials realized that, oh, the Bahamas runner is still in the block, let's recall this race. You would have lost 80% of your energy while the Bahamas runner lost 0. This is an unfair advantage for the first leg that would set the tone for the second, third, and fourth leg. The only reason why Jamaica was able to win that race is because Jamaica was just the more dominant team. Jamaica was the only team able to beat Bahamas, and they had to run from behind to get past the Bahamas athlete. If there was not any event that had an unfair advantage, that one did. Now, Barbados reported that the Bahamas runner should have been disqualified. However, instead of looking into disqualify the Bahamas runner, they decided to rerun the event without any possibility of a different outcome. Another blunder. And that gave Bahamas a medal that they probably wouldn't have otherwise had. So for every blunder, the Jamaica team lost something while the Bahamian team gained something. It seems off. I don't want to use any strong words here, but it seems off.